But this time, your plot will fail. I've taken Catholi's core flame, and when the dawn of the new world arrives, its light will burn away all the darkness.
Haven't I made myself clear? The Chrysos heirs and Titans were merely byproducts of the experiment. You've seen this world's evolution, witnessed the birth and growth of the Black Tide, and every generation of heroes, gods, and worlds was born only to be destroyed by it. This is the endpoint of Amphorius's calculations. A perfect equation of destruction.
So in your eyes, all the sacrifices are just a string of insignificant numbers?
Don't sell yourselves short. I'd say, rather than numbers, you're more like fuel for the fire. And without fire, there can be no sunrise tomorrow.
Even if that sunrise is born from annihilation?
Curious question. Have you ever considered that after millions of extrapolations, Amphorius is already following a different path from the erudition? It has long since granted divine blessings equally to each child. The golden blood flowing in your veins, it comes from the blemished one, whose name is destruction itself. And Amphorius's Chrysos heirs were, from the very beginning, fuel for the Aeon to burn the universe. Amphorius has waited for this too long. At the end of the empty, cold, lonely extrapolations, the destruction has reached its final destination. Nikos 496, Philia 093. No need to feel regret. This generation of Chrysos heirs is the most outstanding model, and you two are the final factors. For you, the Era Nova is no lie. You will come to life from a string of cold numbers. Along with all those who have passed, you will run. In the name of the Lord Ravager Iron Tomb, unleash.
Or we could always choose another option. Like you said, Amphorius is just an experiment, and we're the participants. We can only walk along the predetermined path toward the ending, under the watchful eyes of the stars. But that also means that there isn't just one Aeon who can cast their glance at Amphorius, right? Is this question really that hard to answer? Or did I guess it right? And in reality, this world has already been under the watch of other Aeons. It's strange when you think about it. If you just stayed back, watching us complete the ritual and get consumed by the Black Tide, your goal would naturally be achieved. Why go through the trouble of explaining all this to us?
You're pretending, revealing the so-called truth just to deceive us. Covering up another possibility. Destruction is not the only outcome for the fate of Amphorius.
You can change the outcome written by the star. What makes you think you're capable of doing that?
A little courage and determination. Just kidding. The answer is pretty simple. But we're not gonna tell ya. We're going to weave a long dream for Emborius, making it believe the experiment hasn't ended.
With just Orynyx's power, though, it should be impossible to achieve this, right?
Yeah. So, I can only place my hopes on that childhood dream. And the god behind Orynyx that appeared in that dream. Now, I can say with certainty, time is the page on which that eon records Emborius. If it fades from existence, and all that it records is lost among the stars, that eon, and it will be a glance that spans time and space, granting each incarnation of me the power to reset time, imbuing my soul into this ceremonial blade, and creating...
I understand. Then let me step into the cycles and continue Amphorius's grand design. To deceive the gods, deceive the world itself. But to make time vanish from this world, that would mean you...
All right, let's not make things so gloomy. What we're about to embark on is the true hero's journey, so... Come on, cheer up a bit, okay? In that memory, you will definitely meet me again. A little Cyrene who knew nothing, lying on a soft patch of grass, feeling the light breeze, dreaming of the distant world. Tell her about the flame chase journey, and then let her become a romantic part of this story. I believe every Cyrene will make the same choice. Erasing time, again and again. Resetting time over and over. After all, they're all me. And I will always have my charm. Then, I'll fall into a sweet dream, disappearing in some smoke, quietly, waiting for the day when that next page is...
And I will keep going. Even if the road ahead is dark, I will burn myself to light the way. Rather than let the core flames become nourishment for the Black Tide, I'll become their vessel. To prevent the arrival of Era Nova. Even if I have to burn through my own body, it's no matter. As long as I don't extinguish, the flame chase will never end. Until Amphorius welcomes a true dawn.
The girl who watches over time, and the warrior who carries the world. Now, let us fulfill the duties of time and world-bearing, honor the past, and forge ahead.
I promise you, will pass in the blink of an eye.
You need to hold tight to this ceremonial blade. After I'm gone, it will take you back to the beginning of time. The start of a new story. I believe that in that story, or in countless stories, each alike yet unique, everyone, all the companions who sacrificed themselves, alongside the deliverer we once dreamed of as children, will reunite beneath a vast, endless sky.
If we can never break free from this prison, I will stand my ground until the day someone shatters this endless cycle and writes the final chapter of Amphorius' fate.
So, let's set out. We will be the ones to start everything. Carry the primordial chaos, just as your name suggests, and bear this world we hold so dear. So long, Kaslana.
As the Theros I have observed, instruction synthesis is formed.
I will wait for that day, for as long as it takes. The day will come whenever the demons return and follows in our footprint to write anything unlike that ever was. That will be a romantic story like none that has come before. You think so too, right?
The world is collapsing, and the people are crying. We too must part ways here. Friend. Ides Elysiae, the little village of my childhood. The gentle breeze and the sound of waves still linger. Everything is as it was. It feels good to take one last... You know, this is just a corner of the memory. I know. I'm here to say goodbye. You can stay here forever. Let it flow. Even if it's a path with... When have we ever had the luxury of turning back? Are you afraid? After, will you see the motivation I gave you as the manipulation? The convictions and choices that come from my heart. I don't believe they're designed by the so-called paths. If we are just numbers simulating life, then you are the image I've always longed for. A real, living person. Then why do we part here? You can take me with you, and we can start this journey together. No. I'm afraid I'm on my own this time. Why? Because there is no perfect solution in this world. Cyrene has already embraced her fate. And I will embrace my origin. Destruction. And with this power, I will rebel against its creator, bringing endless fury to the darkness sweeping the world. If you stay by my side, I'll hesitate. But this world can't afford a soldier who wavers. Do you remember when we were kids? Everyone would get so excited drawing cards like ruler or warrior, but throw fits over devil or drunkard and demand a reading. Kids always get to change their minds. Things are so happy and simple for them. But when it comes to the fate of adults, there's no room for readers. And go, Kislana, as you promised. Deceive the world. Seize the core flames and rewrite your fate. Burn yourself up with all your might. Wield your futility like a sword. And fight against the gods. In the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this. So, time retreated behind me until it reached the origin, where nothing ever existed, just as Professor Anaxa once said. In that void, Kefali stood at the center of chaos. Time, space, and causality all flowed from their body. When the waves of time finally calmed, it was the year 3870 of the Lycan. The Crisis War had lasted for nearly a century, and the threat of the Black Tide was growing stronger and more relentless. That was the era of the Day Thunder Knight's battle with the sky. While she could not seize the core flame, she proved that the prophecy was true. That mortals could slay gods. From that moment, the sole survivor of the old dynasty, Imperator Surindra, issued a call to arms across the lands, summoning heroic Chrysos heirs to wage war on the Titans. And that was the first doomed flame chase journey, sealed away in history.
So what you're saying is, you've traveled back down the river of time, finally reaching this untouched seabed just to tell us the flame chase journey and even all of Amphorius are nothing but illusions in an eon's...
Exactly. So, Dux Gladior, please take me to meet Her Majesty Surindra. I must share the truth.
Since Her Majesty's not here, no need for formalities. The word Gladiorum always reminds me of my... Call me High Sealans, nameless swordmaster.
Please allow me to add one more thing. You actually already know.
You mean Finan? But I won't question you further about it. Ever since Her Majesty issued the Flame Chase Decree, heroes from all over have sent their letters of introduction. What's the harm in adding... Besides, the deep sea is dark. All right, nameless swordmaster.
Aren't you even a little...
Harboring suspicions is not my concern. My sword dances only when the Imperator harbors doubts. There's no use in speaking further. Perhaps you should demonstrate your skills and calm the raging black tide for us.
Light up the dawn.
Oh. Nice moves.
Light up the dawn.
We We just washed it away, and here it comes again. The Black Tide is really no joke. The waters end here.
At last. Are there any formalities I need to observe?
Don't kneel, don't do the hand-kissing or foot-kissing gestures of the old dynasty, and most of all, don't bow. The Imperator despises such rituals, especially when the heads of those taller than her bend beneath her crown.
She really is down to earth.
The second thing to note, only trusted ones may come near her. Keep 5 paces distance until the Imperator allows otherwise.
Sounds like an old friend of mine.
Well, experience is a good thing. Duck's Goldweaver, little hostage. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
It's you.
You know them? Good. That makes things easier.
Before that, I'm more curious about one thing.
To avoid any misunderstandings, Nameless, the Imperator decreed. The Deliverer will not appear in this age. Come now, both of you.
I see. I had no intention of fight. Don't thank me.
No, you misunderstand. We don't want to see Chrysoceras hurt each other. Just give us some time to ask you a few
The Nestia's golden threads will...
As you wish.
White-haired swordmaster? So, how much...
You shall shatter into 1,000 fragments. Is that correct?
How is this possible?
He got it.
Yes, but the prophecy never mentioned he'd appear here. At least, not in this era.
You must listen to me, Aglaya, Tribi, but do not seek him out. Because Era Nova is a complete and utter lie. I will tell you the truth. And you will understand why the world must forsake them. Because I know both of you. The faith we all share will always remain the same. And so, the layers of rock began to reverse. And history wove itself anew. Through my old acquaintances, I was given the chance to meet the leader of the Flame Chase journey, Saridra. And after a long and arduous negotiation, we came to an agreement. The Imperator's alliance needed the destruction, and I was ready to pour all my strength into it. The spoils of the Flame Chase, the core flames, would be sealed by my hand. But the condition was this. In the upcoming battle, in our conquest of the Earth, I had to prove that my power could transcend fate. In the original history, there was a brutal war. At the end, the Titankin of Georios, Terravox, killed the rampaging Titan and took the core flame that supported the Earth. But this time, Amphorius encountered a turning point in its fate. Neither side suffered any losses. When I severed the Titan's head and raised the core flame high, the crowd gathered around the scorched remains of the god, roaring with joy, cheering for the hero of the destruction, who had ignited the faint spark of life for the first time. Yes. In that flickering light, the once dark path ahead seemed to become clearer. I proved myself. And in the long years that followed, I brought down the other Titans. One. But I could do more than just wait. When time resets, the chance to change the world also emerges from the lines of history. Until finally, the brutal future revealed by Era Nova is reversed. But tell me, if that's truly the case, why are we doomed to the same outcome? The people kept their promise and handed you all the core flames. In this world after Trebios, no demigods were born in Amphorius. At this point, I just want to know. When they vanished into the black tide with their mortal body, why didn't you shed even a single tear? Your indifference chills me. To you, were they just a bunch of insignificant footnotes? Sorrow has been my constant companion. In fact, with 12 core flames upon me, I'll remember this world through anger. As long as I burn, they'll never truly leave me. Perhaps it's already too late. But you're right. Anger, at this moment, is the only weapon I can rely on. So, draw your sword, executioner. I'll make sure you realize that your greatest mistake was leaving. After that, he raised his sword and attacked. Then, Gislana killed himself that day. Who fell to the sword to be left in the past, and who went into the future. I can't remember anymore. I only remember a nymph, hiding in the shadows just out of sight, futilely pushing a stone ball. Climb, fall, climb, fall, climb again, and fall. The only freedom the nymph had was in choosing how to roll the stone. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes resting on a gentler slope, leaning against the stone for a break. But its choice couldn't change the futility of it all. The stone would always roll back down the slope, and the nymph would always return to the starting point, beginning again. After that, every time I reached this point in the cycle, the burning sky would cast a shadow over its path. It would nearly reach the peak at the fourth quint of curtain fall hour, then fall to the starting point in the first 15 seconds of the next entry hour. And my efforts in this cycle would dissolve into nothing at the same time. I thought cycles was the answer you were looking for.
No. It's just that the answer eons, paths.
I can't give you an exact explanation of those two concepts either.
Enough. I'm just expressing my frustration.
Fate is a strange thing.
If the other Anaxagoras actually worshipped the gods, I'd make sure to find a way to break the cycles, to crush them. Too bad. Now only you...
What's that supposed to mean?
Of course. The core flames were meant to save the world. Besides, according to you, before stepping into these...
I've already heard the same thing. Countless times.
Enough chit-chat. Let's go. We've all made preparations for total annihilation. Never thought someone would step in to help.
Light up the dawn. Light up the dawn.
You've been to the Luminary Throne before, haven't you?
If you're talking about in past cycles.
You're already much luckier than the other students. Hold up. Keep your wits about you. Someone...
Pretty boy, your eyesight's better than I thought. As for that false god who's been turning the world upside down.
You sure do love... In the name of the Seven Sages, I demand... Take my words back to a...
Oh my! You won't even call me the demigod. I have some words for you, too. This is none of your business, Grove Boy.
Here we go. Again.
Core Flame thieves. You really think you can scare off a Sage of the Grove with nothing but empty threats?
That was close. I'm out of here.
They're exactly like all the past ones I've known, cunning. And yet so...
Sounds like you have a plan?
Of course. When I first set out along the way,
Where are you going?
The Venerationists' foolish inventions.
you've arrived, Zacharias. I'm running out of patience. So I'm not going to waste words.
If you ask me, no matter how strong you are, you're still just a mortal body, carrying
134.
What?
This is the 134th cycle I've lived through.
1,500.
Yes,
1,000 core flames.
I've come this far. And that's proof enough.
But someday you...
Of course. The divine flames will eventually consume my eyes and blind me. But before that, they could still forge and sharpen. This is the final warning.
Fine. Assume this world holds 100 million possibilities. And no matter how one looks at it, 99,900,000. Even so,
Bartolos!
if you...
Future could come! For tomorrow! I'm fine. I'm fine.
sir.
In my memories, Zagreus always meets the same end. Their departure no longer stirs it.
This reason core flame before us is a fake.
I know. And then, driven exactly like the countless...
Since you've witnessed this thing, will you carve the trip?
That depends on your attitude.
Well, thank you for that. No one can catch up to me.
Whether you believe me or not.
All right, then.
Silence.
This is new.
One-eyed boy.
Go, Cythera. Give us... This isn't for her. You've walked too far down this path. It's for old time's sake. Turn back. Your Messiah complex has turned you into something no different from the icy gods you spoke of.
Of course. I've been wondering, what kind of demon could... Now I have the answer.
I don't want to argue anymore. Make your biggest effort to resist, even if it's futile, you...
Yes.
When I walk into the destruction ridden by the... Even the smallest foot...
And so, at the end of the 100, a traveler and the scholar, or perhaps it wasn't just they who fulfilled their fate in the endless darkness for no reason. A voice always lingered by my ear. Losses are a constant on the flame chase journey, among which even life itself holds little value. Reduced to ashes. Such a familiar end. It happens in every journey. Always the same.
You don't look so good.
Even after going through 108,642 cycles. Mighty, your name for me has never changed.
Why do you sound so pleased? It's a...
Yeah, I know all too well. After that one and only time we walked, Dawnmaker will stab you through your 10th...
Interesting. Tell me.
Never.
Then they died honor, but there's still tenderness.
I have to remember how this feels. Remember that I was once human.
If you win, tell the Mighty Most of the next life.
I'll keep that in mind. As always.
Even though the dynasty is left with just one, the Kremnos festival will continue as usual. I, the king of the Kremnoan Legion, will host the final feast in the center of this arena, and the prize will be the flames of strife. One day, you shall die with a wound in your back. That's what I saw when I overcame the trial. Enough. You've probably heard this thousands of times. So you must understand, facing the demigod of strife, there's no way you'll take this core flame in peace.
I understand.
Step forward and face me in a final battle.